I wonder if someone could sell pills that made you depressed, people would buy them. People would buy them. I mean, look at what cigarettes are. Cigarettes are something that makes you feel like shit and smell terrible, and yet they're like, it's super popular. It kills people, and then it's super popular. If you had depression pills and you just had them out there, it would be like a news story. News at 5. Is this new pill crossing the line? It's marketed as depression. And then you go there, and there's a chick with white makeup on and black lipstick, and she goes, life fucking sucks. It's always fucking sucked, okay? And when I take these pills, I see reality, and that's what I want. If you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah, it's just...
What is wrong with the children of today? And is this depression drug crossing the line?
Happiness is annoying. When you're around happy people, they're fucking irritating.
If you're happy, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. What's there to be happy about? You're gonna fucking die in a few years.
Depression.
Wars raging everywhere. You're really gonna walk around with a smile on your face in this economy?
Well, you know, it's really good to do depression with your girl, because when you get through it and it wears off, it's like you get to really appreciate how good you have it. Right. When you're getting along great. Yeah. Because when you take depression, it's really like going through like one of those life-changing experiences on weird African drugs that make you like almost die. You know, they have a bunch of those crazy drugs that they give, like jungle drugs, where you almost die. It's not quite a psychedelic experience. It's almost like a near-death experience. Like they literally almost kill you.
Pretty cool.
And you're supposed to like learn something about yourself through this intense and horrible poisoning. I think they're called ordeal poisons. That's the actual technical term. And they operate very similar to psychedelics in the way that they humble you. I mean, because it really brings you to the brink of death, and your emotions are just blaring, your fears are blaring, your insecurities, and when I think you're forced to examine your life in a very deep and realistic way in any real, true, near tragic situation, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think you take these ordeal poisons and you just go through the ordeal of almost fucking dying, and you learn a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
But god damn it, that's the hard way to do it.
That is the hard way to do it, but for a lot of people, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, they don't have enough. They live in a psychedelic-free environment. They can't get it to them. So they don't have the means to get it to them.
Yeah, and sometimes even people will take psychedelics and still
be douchebags. Totally.
So
that guy we were talking about before the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of them out there. They like. It's almost like by taking it, it allows you to be a twat. Because you've had the experience, and you're allowed to like stick it in someone else's face that hasn't had the experience. Right. They're children, or they're a moron. Like that's crazy. Well, you're not better for having an experience. You're just more experienced. What's better is your overall impact on human beings. And if you've accumulated some extra information, so you feel it's okay to be cunty, well, that's not better at all. You just moved your energy into a different direction. You're not better.
Right.
You're still being a twat.
Well, you're still differentiating.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
that's the in the Bhagavad Gita, it sort of talks about like signs of people who've gained real realization. And one of the signs is that they don't differentiate between anything. It's all, they see it as all an expansion of the same original force. They don't see it anymore as like, this person's rich, this person's poor, this person's good, this person's bad. It's all just different sides and angles of this superstructure that has existed forever.
That's so hard to think that way. It's so hard to separate yourself from you and your needs and your ideas of you, what you want to accomplish, or whatever, whatever you associate with you, and the idea that you're a part of a whole.
Well, you can intellectually imagine it, but really being in that state, the only time I've ever truly been in that state was when I had taken a huge dose of LSD and was out in the desert, and I remember just having that fading away, merging thing where you no longer anything. You're just you're everything. You just merge into it all, and I don't know how you would really function in that state. I don't really know what you would be like in the world if that lasted longer than the amount of time an acid trip is, or a few hours. But they do say that through meditation and through strict yogic disciplines, you can hit that place permanently. you know, and somehow that place is nirvana or paradise. It's a beautiful way to be all the time. But I don't know. I've only heard stories about people like that. Descriptions of people like he was a corpse that the universe spoke through is one great description of.
Wow.
You know, where the ego of the person was dead. They're just gone.
But that guy would probably be boring as fuck to hang out with. That's the problem.
Right.
Part of what's cool about being a human being is being around people that have some flavor.
Yeah, hell yeah. And you see some of these people and they do seem to have flavor. So, I don't know. The problem with talking about the holy men of the world, the great holy men of the world, is that I've never met one. It's like
I've met some wannabe gurus. I've met quite a few wannabe gurus, and some of them, they shock me with their humorlessness.
You know what though, dude? I did do a video chat with Ram Dass.
Yeah, you said that was amazing.
And that guy was fucking awesome, and it lit up my whole apartment.
And it was just you and him?
Yeah, it was me, him, and Natasha.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you arrange this?
Well, on his website, you can still do it. It's this thing called Heart to Hearts, where you can you could talk to him on Sunday.
Wow.
And you just go to the website and sign up. I couldn't believe it either. I thought there was no way it was going to work, or I thought they were going to try to ask for money from me or something.
Right.
But I signed up for it. Sunday, my phone rang. Hello, Duncan, it's Ram Dass.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then suddenly I'm on this video screen with Ram Dass, and he was glowing. He was he's an old dude now, but it was exactly the same energy that my friends' 8-year-old kids have. It was just this radiant, childlike, authentic energy. It wasn't phony. It wasn't bullshit.
Wow.
We talked for a little while. He told me this chant that he's been doing lately over and over again, where he says, I am loving awareness, I am loving awareness, I am loving awareness. It's a chant to just sort of, I don't know, shift your vibe. And then that was it. Said goodbye, and that was it. They didn't ask for any money. They didn't want anything. It was just
wow.
It was just service. That's what it's.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Yeah, it's when you look at him and, people who are in psychedelic enthusiasts, you look at someone like him and you go, there's a guy, he made it through.
Yes.
He made it through. He really grabbed it.
Yeah.
He really grabbed a hold of the whole thing, and it made him something different. It made him what he is at the heart of the trip.
That's right, man. Well, because what happened is he went into that state, and instead of going into that state and leaving and then that's it was a novel experience, he went into that state and said, I want to be in this state permanently. What the fuck is this? Because he had, he's a trained psychologist, and he's like, we don't know what this is. We don't have any maps for this. We don't know what the fuck this psychedelic experience is at all. So he was trying to, when he went to India, he was trying to see if this was a state that you could permanently reside in. He wanted to stay high forever. That's how much he loved tripping. When I come down quite often, I'm like, thank you, God. I'm back to, state zero ground. I'm here.
Right.
He was like, okay, let's do this forever. They were fucking... Wow. Him and Timothy Leary were drinking from sipping vials of acid, sipping from LSD. They were going so fucking deep into the experience. I know, dude.
It's so scary.
Fearless, intrepid explorers. But he realized that you go into that place, you have this contact, or whatever you want to call it, with some kind of either hidden interior realm or some kind of exterior realm that, as humans, our perceptual mechanism.
Yeah, and then that's a pretty scientific way of looking at it realistically. Hidden interior realm, even being just a conscious one. A consciousness realm. Right. The fact that those ideas, why are they not available to me right now? If it's all being generated interiorly.
Yeah.
How come those ideas are not available to me right now? Do I need some intense stimulation of different regions in order to give me that information? I don't know how the process works. I'm not exactly sure if other people know either. I have the weirdest fucking feeling that when you take psychedelics, or when you take even marijuana, that part of what the experience is you experiencing the intelligence of the plant. part of it is it boosts up your own senses into this weird, crazy alien state, and that's why being high feels so like disorienting and feels odd. You're almost like not in your space anymore. Right. Your space is connected with some other intelligence, and this other intelligence is showing you different avenues of thinking. It's almost like it starts filling pores in your mind and pushing you in a certain direction, and then until it wears off. And then it wears off and it's alien to your system, so your body gets rid of it eventually, and then it's gone. It only has a certain amount of love time inside of you.
Right.
But while it's inside of you, it's like it's changing you. It's making you like super fucking sensitive. It's making you super aware and honest. You know, I mean, when a lot of people say, "Well, it doesn't do that to me, man. It just makes me paranoid." Well, maybe that's just how you deal with stress.
Right.
You know, because for sure you're going to get moments if you smoke too much pot where you feel paranoid. There's no getting away with that. Everyone's going to have that experience. But what is that really? Well, I'll tell you what it is, man. It's like you're being aware of all the shit in the world all at once. And all the shit that you're hiding in the back of your head, and all the shit that's your worst nightmare that you're terrified that you're actually manifesting because you think about it all the time.
Yeah.
And when you smoke pot, all that shit comes to life. And on top of that, you're just disoriented. It's like surfing. It's like surfing can be great. Surfing can be like, I watch those guys when they look like they're having a great fucking time, and I go, God damn, surfing looks like fun.
Yeah.
But you know when surfing doesn't look like fun? When that wave comes over your fucking head and smashes you into the rocks and pulverizes your bones with 1,000,000 pounds of pressure, and you can't get to the surface. Well, that's surfing too.
Yeah, psychedelics will definitely roll your ass.
Oh,
you don't know what you're fucking doing.
Especially if you fight it. You try to fight it.
The worst.
Yeah. There's people that are fighting reality every day, and they often have like a sort of a fake map of the world that they've devised in their head, and that's how they navigate. They navigate through this fake map of the world. But a lot of the little segments in their mind that they have associated with certain things and details, and a lot of it is delusional because you're trying to protect yourself from your own failures, your own, you know what I mean? Like, especially with men, I think, you know, we have, you know, guys have these fucked up egos that are designed to make sure that you have a will to survive when a cheetah attacks or fight off another tribe so that your DNA stays intact. Well, that will is a fucking creepy thing just running around through your veins. So
yeah. What we're talking about here is what they called set and setting, which is like when you're going to take a psychedelic, what's your mind state? What's your emotional state when you take the psychedelic? And if you go back to the idea that, what's his name? John Mark Allegro? What's his name?
Yeah, John Marco Allegro.
Yeah, John Marco Allegro talking about how early Christianity was a mushroom cult.
Yeah.
And you go back and you look at the idea of when you're going to take communion, or when you go to pray, or when you go to the sacred place, you're supposed to forgive your brothers and your sisters so the idea is, before you go into a psychedelic state, you need to, as much as you can, work out the shit that you're avoiding. Because when you go into that psychedelic state, anything that you're trying to skip around, any of those aspects of your personality that need to be leveled or need to be balanced, are going to spring out at you in 1,000,000 different ways that are really intense. And if you're not prepared for that, then you'll have the bad trip. And the bad trip is you hallucinate. You can you'll see crazy shit. You look in the walls and see skulls. Why are you seeing skulls? You know, why are you seeing bubbling skulls in the wall? Well, you're seeing bubbling skulls because that's what you're projecting from inside of you, because you're fucking scared of death. You're scared to die. You're terrified of letting go. Your body doesn't want to die. And until you deal with that initial thing, then all these other neuroses will spring up after that. You know, your avoidance of reality, all the different weird ways that you're trying to avoid reality, which is essentially just trying to avoid coming to the ground, to the terrain that you're on. And the terrain that we're all on is fucking intense. We're on a terrain where we are going to go extinct. And, you know, who knows, depending on how old you are, you know, but depending on how much technology advances, between like 70 and 10 years, 2 years, 1 year, that's an intense realm to exist on.